Hi everybody, Matt back with you. Hope you're okay. It's been a very interesting weekend this weekend, hasn't it? Especially with the events happening in the sky. The aurora happening on Friday night into Saturday. I hope you managed to catch that. It was incredibly magical to see it. And then last night, Sunday night, had like 3 hours of lightning strikes. Yeah. Interesting stuff. So today we find ourselves back at Oxenhope. Just a couple of weeks ago we were up on that hillside there. But when you see a story in a newspaper, do you believe it? I stopped buying newspapers years and years ago because I realised quite how politically set they are. One thing will tell one side of a story, another newspaper will tell a different side of the story. And generally, yeah, I think take any newspaper headline with a pinch of salt. But that's today. Back in the day, before things like news broadcasts or internet news, newspaper was designed to tell you exactly what was going on in the area. Surprisingly, in the Keighley Herald, a local newspaper, from the 10th of December 1909, there was a headline, a very intriguing one, and one that we're going to examine today. Woman possessed by water wolf. Maria Judson lived in Haworth, but would often find herself passing on this road past Leeshaw Reservoir, and I guess she would be walking. This is 1909. It said that she would often stop at a spring next to the reservoir and drink the water there. On one occasion, though, she swallowed from the water a water wolf. Maria claimed that she'd drunk the water from Leeshaw over many, many years. So it was quite a surprise to her that on this occasion a water wolf had entered her body and possessed her. Now exactly what kind of possession that was, we don't know. There are no reports on that. However, the water wolf did appear one night when she was at home. Look at this warning. Blue-green algae. This reservoir may develop blooms of potentially toxic algae. Not usually harmful, but keep yourself away from any green or blue scum. Wow. Did she drink from here? Is that what caused the wolf? This is crazy. So as we head down into Haworth, if you think the story already sounds bizarre, you've heard nothing yet. As we head to the location of where Maria Judson lived in Haworth, we've done a few videos from here, I think specific one to mention would be the ghost stories of Haworth. West Lane in Haworth is reportedly one of the most haunted streets in the UK. So if you're interested in that sort of thing and haven't watched it already, that video is here. Search for the information and you'll find it. Okay, so now we're on Prospect Street in Haworth, very close to Haworth Centre. And it was on this street where Maria Judson lived in 1909. Now, it is a hot sunny day, there's lots of people about, and it probably wouldn't go down well if I showed you the exact house. So we'll just walk past, and so you can get an idea of what the street looks like. So she lived in this block here on the left. So from her house on Prospect Street, Maria Judson one evening had made herself a delicious plateful of onion mash and smothered it with salt and butter. The smell was wonderful. So wonderful, in fact, that the water wolf came up out of her body, out of her throat, and her mouth came out to smell and probably eat the delicious food that Maria had just cooked herself. Now, I'm wondering if the image currently in your head is the same one that I had when I was reading this story. I immediately thought of the 1984, I think, horror film The Company of Wolves, where the woman's head pulls back and out comes the wolf out of the mouths of the women. I think there's 2 or 3 wolves in that. Hence the title of the film. However, the description that she gives of the wolf is not quite what you would expect. So don't miss any details. I've written down the description of the wolf according to Maria. It says in the newspaper, it looked like a frog, grey, rough and hard, and about as big as a knob on her oven door, 3 inches long. As it went down to get the food, Maria remembered a story of another lady who had been possessed by a water wolf just a mile away at a place called Crossroads. That lady had made the fatal mistake of keeping her mouth open when the wolf had come out, and it had jumped back in. So how long she was possessed for, or whether she was still possessed forever, I'm not really sure. But Maria clammed her jaw shut tight so the wolf could not jump back in. She then threw the plate of food out onto the street, keeping her mouth shut all the time, and as the water wolf began to suffer by being out of her body, she picked it up and threw it into the flames of her coal fire. So bizarrely, that is the end of the story. That is the end of the water wolf. And it's the end of the story for Maria Judson. We've no idea what happened to her after that. There are a couple of Maria Judsons buried in Haworth, but they are before 1909, so they are not the right ones. But what we don't know is how old Maria was at the time she was possessed by the wolf. She may have been young, she may have got married, changed her name, moved away, with just no idea. Yeah, what a bizarre story. And I suppose my initial instincts are she swallowed a frog. Looked like a frog, 3 inches long or something. Grey, hard. How did it come up to be a water wolf? Yeah. I'm lost for words. I don't know what else to say on this one. Give me a moment. And I'm thinking about it. So many other questions come up as well, don't they? Like, who was the woman from Crossroads, not far away, who was also supposedly possessed? I'm baffled. What do you think happened there? Such a story that in 1909 the Keighley Herald ran that article. It's something that today may appear in maybe even too bizarre for 40th times. It could be thrown onto the front of the Daily Star. But yeah, it's baffling. And the fact that that is it, there's no other information about the story, about Maria. But we know her address, we know she was there. We know Leeshaw Reservoir exists. So is there some element of truth in it? Okay, I'm going to leave you puzzling that one over. Maybe you can like the video, share the video, comment on it, all the usual stuff. Subscribe to the channel. We're not far off our huge road trips for summer, and we are going to be getting down and dirty in the mud and in caves and even out at sea. So some good stuff coming up, hopefully. Alright guys, enjoy the sunshine. Don't drink the water. See you soon. Bye. So I don't miss any of the details, I've written down the description that Maria gave of the wolf. It looked like a frog, grey, rough and hard, about as big as a knob on an oven door, 3 inches long. So I don't miss any of the detail. Okay, calm yourself. So I don't miss any of the details. I've got a note of the description that Maria gave of the frog. The wolf.